2022 is the observation of the 7th International Day of Women and Girls in Science. This year, the theme for the General Assembly that is being hosted by UN is Equity, Diversity and Inclusion, with a sub-theme, Water Unites Us. And we can understand the sub-theme especially as water plays a critical role in development. Water is a critical resource, and there are things around that surrounds the ability to have access to water. It's not just from a health perspective, and it's not just from a sanitation perspective. It's from a social, economic, and development perspective. I was speaking to the story of a young girl needing to walk a mile to fetch water in order to prepare for school. The challenges around her traversing that path can pose an issue for her to want to go and being able to go, and that can affect her ability to then participate in school. And you can see the trickle effect that will have. So it's very important that we understand that we are not in an isolated situation. Everything is connected and everything plays a role in the overall results in terms of the societies that we live in and the things that goes on within our communities. Shara Watson, the Executive Director at the Scientific Research Council, Jamaica's principal research and development agency, responsible for translating Jamaica's natural resources. What got me started or inspired me to go along the path of becoming a scientist was really from just my natural inclination of being a free-spirited person, being a creative person, and also growing up in a household with a Rasta father. My dad used to he made roots, that's what sent us to school. So I always saw him with different plant material, and he would be telling us what they're used for and why he's putting it in his blend. So I had that curiosity. I wanted to be like him. I wanted to learn more about nature. I wanted to learn more about plants and what they could do. And therefore, I think that is one of the things that propelled me to become a scientist, and specifically a chemist. For my postgraduate studies at the universities of the West Indies, I was working with Dr. Trevor Yee, who at the time, he is a nature lover like myself. So that's how we kind of got connected. We were light-spirited. So I remember he was telling me about walking in his neighborhood and observing some caterpillars feeding on a plant that he knew them not to feed on. And that kind of sparked his curiosity. Long and short of that story, I got very excited about the prospect of finding out why these caterpillars were feeding on this plant that they shouldn't be feeding on. And therefore, we undertook research studies to look at how we could control that particular caterpillar, which incidentally ended up being a significant pest to citrus industry. So it was Papillia andraman and Papillia demolaeus, which was a later species that came into Jamaica, an invasive species. And at the time, it was not here before. And what we had seen it done in Florida was very catastrophic to the citrus industry. So we had similar concerns that we would do the same here in Jamaica. And what we did with our research was we were able to divert those two pests from feeding on citrus to another plant that was not economically significant. And that was groundbreaking work. We were actually able to use these pests' natural habits to divert their feeding. So that's what made it green. We were not using any harmful chemicals that would cause any damage to the environment. And we were also very gentle to the caterpillars because they do form beautiful butterflies. So that was something that we were very proud of and did receive quite a bit of international and local recognition for that work. The research was also the subject of 2 US patents. So there is a possibility of commercializing that innovation, which of course is what we're about to lead to development for Jamaica. Through the prodding of my then research supervisor, Dr. Trevor Yee, the research work that we did for my PhD studies looking at the control of the 2 citrus pests, we decided to enter the SRC National Inventor and Innovator Young Scientists and Technologists competition. And to our surprise, because we're just entering to really, spread the information of what we were doing. And, as scientists, it's very important that you communicate what you're doing. So we saw the competition as an opportunity to communicate, not just to other scientists, but to Jamaica, because the competition is really geared towards bringing information of scientific research that is happening in Jamaica to the public. So we entered that competition with our research project, as well as the innovations that we created from the research. And we were the sectional prize winner as well as the overall winner. Now that was a significant confidence boost, because one of the things that we do sometimes suffer from is that imposter syndrome. You're thinking, okay, it's okay, but it's not good enough. So entering that competition was very monumental for me personally in my career as a scientist, and boosting my confidence to say, yes, the work that we're doing is high quality research, high quality work that can have an impact. I remember as well, just before we entered the SRC competition, we had gone to Florida and entered an entomology. We went to an entomology conference, and we entered with our research project, and we were placed second. And that, again, when you know how we are, when you get that tap on your shoulder from a global perspective, it really adds to the quality of what we're doing and boosts our confidence. So we're doing quality research work here in Jamaica that can stand on any stage. And I am testimony to that, and many of my colleagues that have passed through the various universities here can also testify to the quality of their work and the success that they have had on the international stage. My primary area of focus is in natural products research and development, and of course innovation. And as we know, Jamaica has a rich culture and rich history of the use of natural or herbal products and herbal preparations. We all have had experiences within our household. We're feeling a little sick and you're given some kind of concoction to drink, some kind of tea, some kind of brew, something in a rum bottle with some herbs or something else in there. So we all have that experience. So the issue now is, how do we move that from the informal space to one where not just the country but individuals can benefit in a real way? How can we translate these natural preparation, or these what you call them now, folklore preparation or home type preparation, into standardized value-added creations that can go out and serve a greater purpose than we are using it in our personal spaces? We've been using some of these products for generations. We have scientific data to support or validate the use of some of these herbal products and even the preparations that we have been using. The Scientific Research Council actually engaged on an extensive research project looking at over 100 medicinal plants that are utilized in Jamaica, to screen them for the bioactive compounds as well as bioactive activities, which help to add to the validation of the use of these plant materials and other materials or preparations that we are using. So the next stage or step for us is moving it from that informal space into value creation, and that can only be done through the development of an industry which will come along with other things that will support the commercialization of these products. So it's not just from an economic perspective we're talking. The economic is critical, and you must have a well-structured industry and with support from different public and private agencies or players to facilitate the growth and development of an industry. And in particular, I'm speaking to the natural health products industry. I know 2-3 years ago, we were saying the nutraceutical industry. We can still say that, but we're expanding it from just nutraceuticals, and we're encompassing everything, including cannabis or ganja, as we like to say, to call them natural health products. And what that will see us doing is having persons who have a natural inclination and would prefer to use natural health products have the ability to do so with confidence and with surety that they are, one, safe, and two, that they will actually work. So that is what our work here at the SRC is centralized around when it comes on to developing therapeutic products from Jamaica's natural resources. Is something that we're very keen in doing. We have our research scientists that are at the decks doing the actual validation and product development activities. And then from my side, or the administrative side, we are ensuring that we are forming or participating in the necessary discussions and leading the change that are necessary to facilitate the growth and development of this very important industry that can help Jamaica move into development status. I would like to believe that the Scientific Research Council played a role in the current state where we have a significant number of women having successful careers in science and STEM-related careers, as we have been very active in the science education programs of the country, as well as the popularization and building public awareness around science and technology. Now, we have a mandate, or we develop specific programs that are targets towards high school, primary school, and university students to get them engaged in the sciences, to make science real to them. And what you find, people tend to think that boys will be the ones that are more excited. But we have been able to design and develop our engagement programs in such a way that our girls tend to shine and get even more excited than the boys. And I believe that is leading to that difference that we're realizing in Jamaica, where the participation of women in STEM careers is concerned. Just want to highlight as well, we have a Conversation in Science series, which is a part of our popularization program, where we have conversations with scientists who have made an impact, who are at different stages in their careers. And what that does is to facilitate that transfer of experiences, sharing of your personal journey and stories, and that helps a lot. So we don't talk at people, we talk with. We try to ensure that we are communicating the value and the impact of science in all aspects of our life, from personal fulfillment to making a difference in the world that we're living in. So the SRC have several programs which we initiate through or implement through our Information Services Division, where we engage the community at large and have various popularization initiatives and programs that really share the value of science and technology, as well as engage persons at a level that they want to participate. The SRC, as I mentioned, is the government's principal research and development agency. And if we observe what happens in other countries that are more advanced or more developed than Jamaica, you would realize that they didn't do it just by chance. It didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen by goodwill and positive intentions. It happened by deliberate actions, and those deliberate actions involve the investment, heavy investment in research, scientific research, and technology development, because that is the only way you can have innovation happen. And innovation is what leads to economic development and prosperity. And that is where Jamaica have to go. That is where we must go. And I see the role of the SRC as being fundamental and critical to that development, or that discovery of unearthing new scientific knowledge that are translatable into applied output that will lead to the creation of new technologies and innovations that will ultimately drive Jamaica's development. So as the executive director of the SRC, I see my role as being very critical to that, to achieving that kind of vision and that kind of objective. I'm here to really lead a team of brilliant scientists and administrators. My role is one that sees me or will have me ensuring that I create the kind of environment that our staff can thrive in, that our researchers can be innovative, that they can be inventive, and that they have all the resources that they need. So my role is really a lobbying one, ensuring that I'm lobbying and engaging the necessary partners, both public and private, government and other sectors, to ensure that the SRC is properly tooled and resourced financially and with the physical, the infrastructure and equipment that is needs, that the bright minds, the brilliant minds that are already here at the SRC can thrive and create those inventions and innovations that will ultimately lead to Jamaica's development.